Alrighty.
Okay.
We're back
All
on
right.
JANC.
Here we are.
Back
Number
to
four.
JANC. Number four.
Number four.
And we're kind of tight on time, so it's going to probably be a shorter episode.
We're kind of tight on people. Too,
Yeah.
At the moment, sort of.
Josh isn't here. He was supposed to be here, but he's
unreachable.
He's unreachable. There was a plan to do this at 11, and I've called him and messaged him a few times, and I haven't been able to get a hold of him. So maybe he died. Maybe he didn't.
I think actually
hope he's okay.
He's stuck on an island with a volleyball.
Ooh.
He pulled a Tom Hanks on us, and so he's just screaming at a volleyball on an island. What are you gonna do though?
Yeah,
So it happens.
the internet's pretty bad on that.
So, it's terrible. It's awful, because what you're supposed to do is supposed to get radio waves and then alter those radio waves to also carry data. But on islands, common is actually geographical. It's some of the mineral composites on the islands frequently mess up those signals. So it's really, really inconvenient. What you really need to do is get yourself a good granite-based island, something not too igneous, not too sedimentary. But what are you gonna do? It's kind of crapshoot once you're there.
Yeah.
But
So Josh is gone, and then also Alex is gone again this week.
He's
got a very from our understanding, he's got a very full plate at college. He's very busy all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We don't know when he's gonna be back on. Hopefully he'll be back on soon. Be good to talk to him.
Definitely.
But so it's just me and Chris today.
Hey.
So
Just talking at you.
just talking about stuff
in a basement.
So
This is where memories are made, though.
Yeah.
Intimate conversations in a
And-
small room.
Yep. This is way easier to do too whenever you're in the same place.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Over video call, it's so hard to be. Cause
It's weird. It's like a. It's very different medium to be talking to someone just face to face. It's a lot more. I think it's smooth.
Yep.
When you're on a video call, you're sort of like, what now?
Yep. So
But
so what are we going to talk about?
okay, all right. Just checking the topic list there. We've got Craigslist.
I just put it
And I
on
don't
because
know.
okay, so I was on Craigslist,
Alright.
and I do all of my car shopping on Craigslist because I'm a poor person.
Okay.
So
all right.
whenever I've been looking for cars to upgrade to buy in the future,
Uh-huh.
I've been looking on Craigslist, and I don't buy anything else from Craigslist or look for anything else on Craigslist. Usually I'll go to
But just
Amazon, just
oh,
cars. I
Just
don't know.
cars.
And I don't know if it's the same for you or not. If you use Craigslist at all, you could kind of tie eBay into that too.
It's good, yeah.
But eBay is usually like more safe.
I don't prefer, I will say, yeah, definitely, because Craigslist, it's community based, so it's just like whatever gets posted.
Yeah, there's no
You know,
protection.
I mean,
there's
there's
no eBay buyer protection
Yeah,
program for
there's
Craigslist.
also, you never hear in the stories, like in the news, like the eBay killer. Like,
Yeah.
that's not really a thing.
No.
But at the same time, I think I like Craigslist because you are working directly with people. Like, okay,
There's no
so
middleman.
right, definitely. Like with eBay, you don't have to set up like a PayPal account or something like that. You're not working because someone's got to be making money at eBay from that. I mean, somebody's got to set it all up.
Craigslist is like the garage sale of the internet,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, and I think with the pros and cons of a garage sale at the
Yeah.
same time, like you never really know what you're gonna get or if it's worth what you're gonna pay for.
But
it.
it's usually very well priced,
Pretty
very
much,
cheap.
Yeah, it's some pretty lucrative stuff.
Yeah, some crazy people put some stuff. I saw a 2010 Honda Civic for sale that was for like $8,000.
Oh wow.
And I thought it was some sort of scam. I sent it to my dad, and he thought it was a scam too. But in the description, he had said that it was his wife's car, and they had just gotten into a divorce.
Right. Yeah.
So it kind of made sense. But there's it just seems crazy that they would sell a 2010 like brand new Honda Civic.
Yeah. Did it look brand new?
It looked brand new. It was white.
Yeah.
There was no problems with it at all. The guy's just like, I just want to sell it as fast as possible. And then the next day, whenever I refreshed the page to check again, it was dropped down to $6,000.
Oh wow. Jeez.
I was like, oh my gosh. Man. And then it disappeared. I never saw it again. My mom texted the guy.
What are you gonna do?
Like,
Oh right. Yeah, I remember that.
yep. So
That's crazy. But I'm not sure if prices are very different on stuff like that because with Craigslist, it seems like you are working with people who own it and they're like, listen, I want to get rid of this, so I'm just going to sell it. But I know there are also like when I was looking for cars, I always went for just by private parties because you can get ads from dealers, so that's kind of inconvenient. And I was looking, and I don't know, I know Craigslist of course offers ridiculous huge variety of products, and Amazon at the same time. But to compare the two, I was actually at here in town. There was a computer repair store that we took my sister's laptop to because her hard drive, something was wrong with her hard drive. It didn't have a file or something like that. But in the end of it all, we needed to get a new hard drive, and so we paid. It was like $75 for a new hard drive, and plus the labor. But we were talking to the guy, and he said that he actually just orders all his stuff off Amazon in the first place. So we asked him, "Is like, is there any cheaper way to get this done in the future, or like, because it wasn't too expensive, but we were just wondering, just for the sake of information."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "We're like, what if we went to Amazon or like Newegg?" He's like, those are the sites that I'm using in the first place. So I don't know if it's like market current prices, I guess, or I don't know if it's like, I don't think they're like undercutting anybody too bad.
Right.
But it'd be hard to do that in the first place.
Yeah, and like the thing, online shopping is kind of crazy too, because I don't know. We live in a pretty small town, and there's a lot of small businesses I didn't even know existed, and it's hard to believe how they can stay afloat at all, because everything around town is usually way more expensive than anything you can find online. Like my dad,
I'd imagine so.
There's a small office supply shop in Highland somewhere that my dad was looking to get paid, because he would prefer to get it locally if he could, rather than ordering it from a paper company or anything. But with like Walmart's prices on all their office stuff are like at least half the price of this guy's office supply. And I just don't understand, like in the same town, Walmart has half the prices on the same stuff that the office supply store has, but yet the office supply store is still around, and it's been around for years. I
didn't know. I was actually taking a walk, interestingly enough, and I found myself by the square. I didn't know there was a tuxedo rental place by the square.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I've never heard of it. There's like Jim's tuxedo rental or something like that.
I've just gone to Glicks before.
Stuff like that. I don't know. Like I just always went to like Men's Warehouse or something like that.
Yeah.
I figure it's like the Walmart effect. Like it's so big that they can offer that for cheaper prices. And it's not going to hurt them.
And like things like Amazon and stuff, they have some crazy cheap prices on new stuff too. They're kind of like the big, they're like the Walmart of the internet almost.
Kind of.
Because they have like crazy cheap prices, and they have almost everything you could possibly ever need.
I know they do groceries too. They do some groceries too.
They do clothing. They do electronics and
all kinds of stuff. And I think it's almost like a mix of the two. Like if eBay, well, it seems like no matter where you go, you're always working with people. But it seems like eBay is a really structured version of working with people, and Craigslist is like the sort of like free range, like you're just whatever happens. And it almost seems like Amazon's like the combination of the two. Like Amazon themselves actually sell stuff, but they have a mix of like private sellers and suppliers of like warehouses of stuff. So if you look up like Apple headphones is what I was looking up actually, and they've got people that privately own them, Amazon's selling them, and then they're like electronics warehouse stuff, and then they're also like genuine Apple. The actual, like, the Apple itself was selling them, and then there's Amazon and private sellers. So it's sort of, it's good to see that competition, I think, especially with the same, when you're just looking, I was just there just to quote some headphones. They're actually kind of expensive. Yeah. But it was good to see, that kind of competition working out, which, you don't always end up seeing that, especially when it's all just one like, mega Walmart store. So, but, what are you going to do? It's really interesting, though.
Yeah. It's just crazy because, and I have a friend who works at camera, like a camera supply store where they have lenses and cameras and stuff like that. And she had some people that she knew, and they asked her if she could sell them a camera lens, and she's like, "Yeah, just come by the shop and I'll point you through the different lenses." And so they came by, and she talked to him for like 30 minutes on all the different kinds of lenses you can get and the best lenses for the budget they had. And she went through this whole thing, and they decided on the lens, and then they asked, "Do you guys have any issues staying afloat with all of the online shops and stuff like that?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I'm sure." Or I don't remember what she said exactly, but she said that they're doing fine as far as, like, they're not doing badly specifically because of Amazon and eBay and stuff. And they're like, "Okay, well, thanks for your time, whatever." And they left, and they didn't buy it. And then she was the she was like, well, I thought you were gonna buy this lens, and we're like, oh, we're just gonna get it on Amazon later.
Huh.
So they just went to
No.
the store so then they
To
could
find
talk
out
to someone
what
to
to-
find out
jeez.
what to buy.
What the heck?
I'm like,
Oh, that
that's
seems
such
like
a jerk
That's
move.
a stab in the back. There,
I know,
almost.
like,
Jeez.
come on.
We just wanted your
She's
advice.
a camera salesman, and
Right.
they came to her so then she could point them to the right lens, and then they went
that
and
kind of sucks.
bought it on Amazon because it was cheaper. So I don't know how anything can stay afloat, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people are always buying stuff from everywhere. So
That's true. I mean, I wonder if it's almost like that, like small town feel. It's like, well, I purchased it from a person because I know sometimes I get kind of nervous about like cell phones. Like I always have this ridiculous thing where like I'll say to myself, this is it. I really want a cell phone. I want to get like the Samsung Galaxy S4 or like the iPhone 5. Like I'm gonna do it. This is it. And then I'll run through everything. It's like we need your zip code to check the services, and I'll check out the coverage on their little mini map that they give you. And it's like, okay, what do you want for a plan? It's like, okay, $40 is gonna get you talk, text, and then $40 for like the web, and so like all that's taken care of. It's like I always think it's really expensive, but I always get to like that last like sign out and like check out thing, and I was like, I always like chicken out at the last
confirm
phase.
and purchase,
right? Yeah, it's like no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Well,
It's like, wait, do I really want to do this or not? But it's like I was so headstrong on it. I was like, yes, I'm gonna do it. And finally, and then I just get to that one last. This is
last
it,
button, is
and
always...
I don't. And I think some of that is that it's like I'm given all the information telling me that it's gonna work. But it's like if there's not someone that I can sit down and talk to and say, hey, listen, this is where I am. Here's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna move. Like right now, I'm living. I'm living like half an hour outside St. Louis. And so here's my coverage. What do you have for there? Like, okay, so it seems like if I'm talking to an actual person, they're gonna know. Like, I have someone to come back to and say, hey, listen, I had a problem with this, and now it doesn't work. So it's like it's just sort of like a security blanket almost. So it's like I think
to actually talk to someone
right. So
like about what your situation is.
Here's what I'll use it for. Here's what I'm gonna be. What do you think? Is this the right phone, or should I go with something different? And it seems like when you genuinely talk to somebody who has a handle on something like that, it's worth almost. It seems like with like the small town thing, it's like it's almost worth that extra monetary value to have sort of like that sentimental like you have a face to connect with an object that you purchased. It's not just like, well, I bought this off Amazon, so it's like I guess I'm just sort of boned unless I can email the seller and then we can work something out that way. But you just never know who you're working with.
It depends a lot too on like there are some things that I would purchase from a store, and there's things that I would purchase from online. And I think the thing that separates the two is whenever I buy something online, I generally know what I'm going into, so I do a lot of research ahead of time, and I kind of temporarily become an expert on the thing that I want at the time.
I know what that's about.
And so, like, whenever I went to get... I just bought the Samsung Galaxy S3, and I was looking at a lot of HTCs. I thought about getting a Droid, and I did a ton of research, and for that short period of time, I became an expert on all the smartphones on the market at the time.
Yeah.
And I decided on the Samsung Galaxy S3. But like if I go to buy I don't buy clothes online because there's all like it's just there's some things that you can buy online. There's things that you just can't.
It's like the more variables.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like when you're looking for a car, like imagine how many variables there are with a car.
Right.
So I mean, I would imagine someone that like something like Craigslist that offers people that are just describing what they have. Here's what I've got. But then if you had to like purchase a car like online, I think Craigslist would totally fail because there's like when you look at cars online, you're just looking at a car. You have to physically meet someone and say, "Here's $5,000 for this car."
And that's what my dad has bought cars on eBay before. And I have our family's bought cars on Craigslist a lot. And the thing is that whenever you buy it on Craigslist, I can't mentally accept the fact that I'm buying a car online until I go and look at it myself and drive it myself and make the decision on my own. Like I can't take the guy's word that it's
that's probably the safest way to go.
Right. And so like with eBay, it's different because my dad got his Mazda 3. It was in New York or something crazy far away, or
really?
Ohio maybe.
Okay.
And so he bought it and paid for it, and then he had to he had to fly to Ohio to pick it up.
Yeah.
And so he got there, and he didn't know until after he bought it what the condition was like, which
really
seemed crazy.
Yeah,
to me.
see, that would weird me out.
But eBay's got a safer sort of
That's true,
feel
yeah.
to it. Like they have the eBay buyer protection program where if what you buy isn't what
Is
you
just it's
what
not
was
what you
described.
actually
They
get,
have
yeah.
like security systems built in because
Yeah.
eBay is like Craigslist, but like super structured and like very well maintained.
Gotcha. But I think you end up paying for that. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can justify paying for that, I think then it's okay. Like it's a
Right.
sort of like you are getting a little extra, like almost like a big brother to watch over and make sure everything
Mm-hmm.
works.
It's all
So-
personal preference, to, like on if you want to buy things online or not, and
That's true.
it's a weird thing. The internet's weird. So
You know what? We can all walk away with that.
Yeah.
Sort of like the internet. It's probably like at the end of the day, it's probably good, but at the same time, it's really really weird.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta sort of brace yourself for that.
pretty weird stuff.
And some people really like. I don't thinking about it now. It's sort of like some people really really like just totally like invest themselves into the internet. I mean, like I couldn't imagine being like someone who like a YouTuber who like makes who's actually make it like with 1 million plus subscribers. It's like that has to take a lot of investment on your end.
They have a full-time job.
Yeah, it's like it's less of a hobby. Like I'm glad this is it's up with JANC. It's like we get together and the goal is to make sure that we don't like as a group. It's like as a group we don't like we're all going to be busy with our own stuff. But I feel like it's like to maintain group, adhesion.
Right.
Like we don't want to. It would suck to have it drift apart, and I can expect some of that to happen. But right now, it's mostly just sort of a hobby. It's just like we get together, we have fun with it, and the goal is to just have fun with it. It's just if this was like some boring political podcast, no one would. I don't know if anybody would listen to us now, but no one would want to. So I think when you really invest yourself in it, you've got to love it, because if you don't, you're just going to run yourself ragged just making videos that you're just hoping to God somebody watches.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's crazy. Like there's something I've talked to people too. This is a whole nother topic we could go on forever about. But like, it kind of seems a little off topic from what we just talked about. But
segue.
Yeah,
Segue here. Go ahead.
Walmart.
Okay.
That's a store, so that's kind of
That makes
relevant.
sense. I've seen one actually.
Walmart self-checkout.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, see,
there's a lot of controversy. Like we in our small town, we just got self-checkout in our Walmart, and there's a lot of people who have a lot of different opinions about it.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that would make as many waves as it did. I
Well,
was just like, self-checkout, okay.
Yeah, someone's like, oh, Walmart has self-checkout there, and I'm like, whoa, that's cool. Something new happened.
Yeah, look at that. We're not
this
Amish.
tiny town.
You could have fooled me.
Yeah,
that's great.
And then I would tell people about it, and then people got really upset by it, and some people got really excited. Some people really hate it, and it's because they think that technology is killing jobs, which you can.
Which it totally is.
It totally is.
Yeah,
you can
definitely,
see
definitely.
it happening.
Yeah.
I mean, they have these robot helicopters, autonomous robot helicopters,
Really?
that are designed to deliver beer to people when
Oh
they
my
order
gosh,
it with
really?
their smartphones.
That's both awesome and like completely unnecessary for technology. That's
and
crazy.
so there's things that are being invented that are taking away jobs. But you got to think about things like not only is technology destroying jobs, but there's a lot of jobs technology's invented for people.
That's true.
Like
There's a lot
how
of,
many people can say they make videos with their friends and make a living off of YouTube?
That's true. There's something to be said for that.
Right. So I think there's a give and take to technology in general.
It's like the legend of the IT guy. Like 50 years ago, the IT guy didn't have a whole lot to do. I mean, everything's pretty much analog at that point. So, so I think there's something to be said for that. I think there really is. That's an interesting side to that. You know, but I didn't honestly when I saw the self checkout. To be sincere, I didn't rate them anyways. I was like, oh, okay, self checkout, great. But thinking about it, that is sort of like in a small way that really does sort of it reflects what's actually happening. Like I think I don't know. Like we went to school. We were on the same, we were in the same class. So you really sort of like you sort of learn the landscape of the people that you're with. And so then I know it was always a really big topic at school, like the new incoming freshmen for the next year, and how they're so weird and they're so weird, like they've got different like trends and fads that they get into. And so, but I think in a way that sort of like models how that changed the landscape of students. And so I think it's a really interesting to see like self-checkout at Walmart sort of models how the landscape changes in a macro, like in a very large scale for the entire town. And so I just think it's really interesting, like something that small could make as many waves as it did in the first place. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But So I don't know. You said you had something to do.
Yep.
It is noon, so
It's
I don't think you're probably gonna get us probably to sign off here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up here. It sucks that it's such a light group today.
Yeah.
Just me and Chris.
Yeah, man, what the heck?
But hopefully it was a little entertaining.
At least mediocrely entertaining.
Yeah.
A little.
It was fun to do. I don't know
We got
that
to
for
talk
sure.
at you. So.
But all right. Well, that's it
Appreciate
for
it.
episode 4. Hopefully next week we'll have more people for episode 5.
Yeah. Jeez. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We'll stick it in there somewhere. I'm sure
Yeah.
I don't hope to experience not too much of this like everyone's doing their own thing, but I'm sure it'll come up a little more.
Yep.
That's all right though. No problem.
All right. Well.
Alrighty. Signing off then.
See ya.